guys, I'm Amy. So today's video is another Depop video, and this one is all about pricing. So pricing your items, how much you should pay for items, it's going to be a big chat about that. So I've got my little list again, so I'm going to try and do it in like some sort of order, but it might be a bit messed up. But anyway, so the first thing I'm going to talk about is researching. So before you go like to a handpick, because I've got it down here, so if you're at a handpick, you can use your phone to look at prices. You can do like legit checks and stuff while you're there. So I would always recommend getting your phone out, and if you see an item, just look and search on Depop, see how much it's selling for, or find a similar item and compare it to that. As well, another way to go is eBay, but you're better off searching eBay sold items rather than just what are on, because some things will be on for a really expensive price and just never sell, so you don't really want to price your item based off that. So yeah, always check the sold listings on eBay. And then the next thing you can do on eBay as well is, and I do this quite a lot, is an image search. So if you take a picture of the item that you're wanting to buy or sell, put it on the image search on eBay, and then a load of items either similar or the same will come up. So then you can compare, compare the age, the style and stuff, and then you can sort of get a price from that. So that's always a really good way to go. I do that quite a lot. But when you're buying items, you want to think about obviously the profit that you're going to get, but you need to take into consideration fees and postage. So double or more is always quite a good way to go. But don't like buy an item for £20 if it's only going to sell for £25, because you're just going to lose money. So it's really important to always check what an item's worth before you buy it. And it's the same if you're like in a charity shop, or you're buying something from eBay, or if you are at a wholesaler's, you can just get your phone out and just look, because it's just so much easier, and it's just better than getting home and realising you've got an item and it's not worth quite as much as you thought, and then you've made like a bit of a loss on it. So yeah, if you can't find a price on anything anywhere, if you've tried like eBay, Google, Depop, you can use the Facebook groups. I don't really like to use them because sometimes you don't really get an honest answer, but if you do decide to use that, just make sure you take a few people's opinions into consideration and not just one. You can message me or Jamie, we'd be happy to help. So when you're pricing an item, it's important not to overcharge people. Some accounts do this, we don't. People know what an item's worth at the end of the day, so they'll just check and they'll look around, and if someone's selling the same item as you and they're selling it £10 cheaper, they're just going to buy it from them. It's not, you just need to have the best prices. Different vintage items can sell for all different amounts of money. So I've got here, like, depending on the condition, the age, the style, if it's a sought after piece, or the item or similar items are popular at the time. But always check the price of the item before you upload it, so because things do go up and down, like with fashion and stuff like that. So always just check that you're not underpricing or overpricing your item. So again, just check on Depop for a rough search. That's always a good way to start. Some vintage items are worth more than the retail sometimes, but that's only if it's like something that's really sought after, vintage, old. If it's just like, if you've just got like a normal like new Adidas t-shirt, you're not going to get like £50 for it. Whereas if you've got an old one, you are going to probably get more money for it. So always search and look. So I've got, like, for example, Ralph Lauren polos. So I know they're quite expensive to buy, but don't expect that if you've got like a Ralph Lauren polo in your wardrobe that you bought, don't expect that you're going to get like retail price for it, because you just won't. They're just, certain items just lose money as soon as you've bought it. And I know a lot of people, like, they'll buy something and it'll be like £150 and they'll want to sell it for that, and it doesn't really work like that. So you've got to always think about that when you're buying items or when you're selling your own clothes. So again, just check everywhere and just see what's a good price. Certain brands just resell better than others. So like Tommy Hilfiger's good, Burberry, just anything that's in fashion really. So I mean, just look on Depop, look on the explore page, you can use Instagram, things like that. So the more sought after an item is, the more you can obviously charge for it. Here I've got do your research before buying stock. I know I mentioned it earlier, but it's really important. So look on your phone, look what's popular. So before you go like to a handpick, because I know obviously we can't go to charity shops now, so before you go to a handpick, have a look on your phone and see what's selling. See what, you know, like jumpers are always good, so see what kind of jumpers are in at the minute. Depending on the time of year, you know, like denim jackets, certain trousers, joggers, things like that. Just have a look at everything before you go and just sort of be more prepared, because once you get to a handpick you can be a bit like, oh, and you just kind of pick a load of things up, but you need to think about it really. And especially when you're there, just get your phone out, search for an item. If it's something that you know what to price it at, then that's fine, but like if you're new and you're just starting out, make sure you get your phone and search for it. Do legit checks and stuff as well while you're there, like they won't mind, you know, just you're there to spend your money, so just take your time. Next thing I've got is price your items taking into consideration an offer. So if you're happy selling an item for £20, put it on for £25 and then you can take an offer, because people always like to think they're getting a deal. So if you put that item on for £20, someone would want it for £15. So if you put it on for £25, take £20 and that's what you wanted for it. And then the customer feels like they're getting a bargain. I mean, they are getting it cheaper, but taking an offer is always a good incentive for people, and they'll just think, oh, I'm getting a bargain, this is really good, so then they'll probably buy it and then maybe buy from you again. So the next thing I've got is, and this is a big don't, and it's something that really sort of like, it annoys me because it makes no sense. So I've got, don't put an item on with no price, or put it on for like £1 and then say make me offers, because it just looks really unprofessional and people don't know how much you're wanting for it. So if you've got in your mind £100, but then the other person who's wanting to buy it's got like £10 in the mind, you're just going to be so far away, and then you're probably going to get a bit offended. So make sure you just put a price. Like I said, you can do the like, you know, put it on for £25, take $20, just put a price on. And if you don't know how to price it, then all the things I've said above should help. So yeah, I know that sounds a bit mean, but it's just a big no. Don't do it. And don't do like try and do like an auction on it, send me your highest offer. Like Depop's not really for that. Depop's, you know, a shop, you put it on, you pay that price, that's it. Obviously you can do the offers, but just put a price on first to start with.
Do it again.
No! Right, so the next thing I've got is another don't. This one's not as mean. So don't put an item on for a certain price and then if it's not sold that day, drastically reduce it. Don't do that. Leave your items on. Sometimes things will take like a month or more to sell. Just make sure that you're bumping the items so that they're not staying at the bottom of the page, the search results. So always bump it. I've mentioned how to bump in my other videos. So that's really important. Check obviously that you've not overpriced the item. If you've put it on for £100 and everyone else has got one on for £50, then you are going to want to rethink your price, which is why it's always important to think about how much you're buying an item for. But this is kind of to do with pricing. So you can have a sale on your shop. So Depop have got an option where you can put a certain percentage off and it just takes it off all your items. It's really easy, you just go to like the edit items and it'll be there. So a sale is always a really good incentive if you do feel like your items aren't selling. Like retake your pictures, things like that are always good. There are a lot of people that will actually help you price your items. So me and Jamie, if you needed any sort of help, you can message us. You can message me on here, comment, or you can message me or Jamie on Instagram. I'll put the links in the description. So one thing I want to say as well is, and this is probably going to sound really mean again, but don't feel like you have to pay people to give you advice, because there's a lot of people that will help you for free. You don't need to spend hundreds of pounds getting advice from someone. So always look around first, ask people, do your own research. The money that you could spend on something like that, you'd be better off spending it on stock. So yeah, you don't have to go into it like knowing everything. We just started and we just did it as we went along and it worked for us. So the last few things I'll say is just what I said earlier. So use eBay, use Depop, Google, the eBay image search. There's so many ways to find an item. I'll sometimes end up on Google and you'll end up God knows where, and you'll find the item. Sometimes it'll take you ages, but that's just sort of part of the thing. So it's always good to like research things before you do go and buy items. This is more just if you're a new seller. If you've kind of been doing it a while and you know what kind of sells, still always check because things do go up and down in price. But yeah, don't just rush into a handpick and buy a load of things, get home and then be like, oh crap, it's not actually worth what we paid. Because that can happen, because especially when you're at handpick, sometimes you get a bit like, oh, this is good, and then you pay too much. So yeah. Right, so that's the end of the video. I hope it's been useful. Let me know in the comments if you liked it. Like and subscribe if you want to. My Instagram and Jamie's Instagram and Depop will be in the description. So thank you for watching. If you got this far, thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.